Welcome to Otterbein University's Fritchie Theater in Cowan Hall and the 2017 Otterbein Alumni Awards ceremony. And now, please welcome the Otterbein Department of Theater and Dance students in a number from their most recent main stage production. Performing Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe, the cast of Damn Yankees.
Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe.
Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe. Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe.
What'd you say his name was?
Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe.
She's gonna call him Shoeless Joe. Gee, Miss Form, you sure do have wonderful ideas.
Oh, I've got lots of ideas. Who came along in a puff of smoke?
Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe.
Strong as the heart of a mighty oak.
Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe. Lucky are we to be having him.
Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe.
Just when the future is looking grim.
Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe came a long, long way
To be with us today.
with arms of steel like Hercules,
Yeah!
feet as fleet as Mercury's.
Yeah!
He'll fight for us, do right for us.
He'll be a beacon light for us.
He's Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe. Go, 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 go. Go like a bat out of you nowhere.
Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe.
Strike at the foe, let him know you're there.
Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe.
Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe. Came upon the scene.
As fresh as his urine.
He sneezed and blew away a calf. His laughter ripped the barn in half. Like sevens come, 11s come.
Manna from the heavens home.
He's Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe. Go, 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 go.
Go like a bat out of nowhere.
Shoeless Joe from M.O. Strike at the foe, let him know you're there.
Shoeless Joe from Hannibal.
Look out, look out, look out, look out for Shoeless Joe, the barefoot boy from Hannibal Moe.
Joe, 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 Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Phil Kelly.
Can I have your autograph?
No, how about a selfie? Oh, wait, no, it's 1950s. Yeah, sorry. You didn't give me a pencil. Get out of here.
Okay.
Kids today. I turned off my phone, by the way, so we couldn't do a selfie. So wait, hold on. I think I just heard the announcer say Phil Kelly. That says Phil Wolf, class of 1993. You may have got up this morning. Saw me on Good Day Columbus. I'm the weekend meteorologist for ABC 6 and Fox 28. So you're thinking, did you get married or something? What the heck happened? Well, here's what happened, and I want to talk to you about real quickly, just because even people who know me well don't really even know what happened. But my first job, I graduated in Otterbein in 1993. For 2 years, I couldn't find a job in TV. Then finally, a kids club host over at Channel 4 became available, and I wanted it. So I sent in my audition tape, and I go up to the general manager's office, and after a few interviews, he says, all right, Phil, you got the job, but you're gonna need to change your name. Well, I was 2 years out of school. I needed a job. He would have told me to wear a dress. Jill Kelly would have been standing here today instead of me. So that's how I became Phil Kelly. Phil Wolf, I answer to both of them. It doesn't matter. So I knew I love being back in Cowan Hall, because this is where I first knew that I was going to come to Otterbein. I was a junior in high school, and I went to Westland over on the west side of Columbus. And they were doing a chorus line here, 87, 88, something like that. And I sat right over there in the second row, and it was just blown away. And I loved doing theater. So I said, I'm going to Otterbein, and I'm going to be a theater major. So I auditioned for Chuck Dodrell, who's a legend. You see his, the plaque with his name out there. And I got to audition for him. I was accepted. And I came to Otterbein. I was just so excited to be here. I spent so much time on this stage, helping build sets, hanging out with friends, doing a couple shows. So it's just wonderful to be back here. Now, as you know, the theater program, very intense here. And after 2 years, I made a decision. I said, you know what, maybe I'm not that intense. Maybe I can't do theater 24/7. So I decided to choose a different path. And as you already saw from the opening number, the Otterbein theater students here are on a completely different level. Well, luckily, I was at Otterbein. And when you're at Otterbein, you're never alone. And you're free to follow whatever path you may choose. And I had mentors along the way, and I know many of you did as well while you were here. But one special mentor really helped me make that transition from theater over into broadcasting. And his name is John Buckles. I know a lot of you know him. He was here at Otterbein for quite some time. He was more than a mentor to me. He was a friend and really helped me get started in the broadcasting business. He was the head of WOBN. I did the radio, and I became sports director, and that really took me on great paths. Following the basketball team across the country, doing the Final Four, following the football team across the globe, where we did the first ever Rhine River Classic with Otterbein versus Heidelberg, and what an opportunity that was. So everything in my path was really starting to fall in line. My first internship, ironically enough, was at ABC 6, where I work now. But it was in the sports department, because I thought I was going to do sports. I really liked sports. But, as the one change happened, another change happened as well. And I got involved in the weather, went back and did some more schooling for that. And so sometimes now, I'm the most popular guy around. Plenty of sunshine. Days like this, I kind of stay inside and don't see people, because a lot of people don't like the gloomy days. So I'm thankful to John for his guidance, and recently I had one of those kind of full circle moments where I got to, you contact people on social media, you get to see them a little bit, but I hadn't seen him face to face in more than 20 years. And we had brunch together, and it was like, we didn't skip a beat. It was a nice 2-hour meeting, and now he's also on the Alumni Council, which I'm on as well. So I know a lot of what I've learned at Otterbein, the values, the support, the insight, helped me to know how to make the best out of all these different experiences that I have. I'm so proud to be an alumnus of this university, and I'm excited to help share the news on some other alumni and their impressive achievements here that we are celebrating today. So, let's get started. First, I'd like to introduce the Black Bear Jazz Student Ensemble, which you've already been enjoying today. Dominic Bear on piano and lead coordinator. Eric Stratton is on bass. Seth Sprang on drums. All right, you guys are doing a great job. And I'd also like to thank a few other friends that are with us in the house this afternoon. All right, first of all, I'd like to say a special welcome to Otterbein President Kathy Crendel. Also, I know we have President Emeritus Dr. Tom Kerr and his wife Donna are here today as well. Dr. Brent DeVore is with us this afternoon. And can we all offer them a round of applause for all the service that they've given to Otterbein? All right, we also want to welcome the Board of Trustees here with us this afternoon. I know Otterbein's board chair, Mr. Mark Thresher, is here today, and that he's joined by some of the others. Welcome. As a matter of fact, would Mr. Thresher and all of the current and emeritus trustees please stand up and be recognized for the service and leadership that you've provided over the years. They turned the house lights up. I can see you guys. It's a lot more nerve-wracking. You know, when I'm just talking to a camera, it's just me in the studio. It's nothing. Now I see people out here. Now I'm nervous. When are we dimming those house lights again? Finally, let's talk about the members and the consultants of the Alumni Council. I want you to stand and be recognized. As I mentioned earlier, I'm on the Alumni Council as well. It's a loyal and talented group of Cardinals. Would all the past and present members please stand up and be recognized? And now, on with the celebration. It's my pleasure to introduce an outstanding Otterbein student, Anayemi Danner, a member of the class of 2019. She's from Cuba. She's a public health major with a concentration in epidemiology. There you go. There's a $10 word for you. And she's minoring in health communication and psychology. Anayemi's goal is to work in Doctors Without Borders or in the United Nations. So in the Weather Center, it's my job to make predictions. Let me be the first to predict that someday in the not too distant future, I fully expect to see Anayemi on this stage again. Except this time, instead of presenting awards, she's going to be receiving one for all the outstanding work that she's about to do. Would you please help me welcome to the stage Anayemi Danner. Welcome.
Well, that was a great introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to be here today and to have the opportunity to present an award to a very compassionate and important person who strives for change in our community and our world. As a sophomore here at Otterbein and a person who comes from a far away and also a person currently going through her citizenship application, I was able to connect and appreciate the goals and achievements of this person. I was originally born in Gambia, West Africa. I lived in Haiti and in Cuba because I'm half Cuban from my mom's side. Being a person who has seen a lot, including being an earthquake survivor from Haiti, it pleases me to meet someone who has explored the world and stepped out of their comfort zone to help others. Not only do we both speak French, but her passions and work are what I aspire to do. To travel the world and to help others to make a difference. I hope someday to become a part of the Doctors Without Borders or to work for the United Nations as an epidemiologist. And for these reasons, many others, our Alumni Community Service Award recipient is someone I really look up to and truly admire. Nancy Loudon-Slager Castle has dedicated much of her life to helping others in her community and beyond. Nancy earned her bachelor's and master's and doctorate degree in French, then settled in Nashville, where she often hosted international students. In 1983, she really jumped into volunteer work, all thanks to a random phone call. A local church was asking for donations for the Faith Mission Ministry in Del Rio, Texas, as well as Christmas gifts to be given to children in Mexico. Nancy's husband happened to be a truck driver, so they volunteered to help drive and distribute the gifts. For the next 5 years, she and her husband traveled to Del Rio the week before Christmas to deliver the gifts. The couple was volunteering with World Relief when the organization began helping refugees coming from Somalia, Vietnam, and Ethiopia. Nancy was soon driving individuals to doctor's appointments and the Social Security office, shopping for groceries, basically doing anything that was needed. When Kurdish refugees started settling in Nashville, she took it upon herself to teach them English, driving to 3 different apartment complexes to work with several groups for a number of years. She recorded lessons on cassette tapes and bought tape recorders for them to practice outside of class. In 1995, when the Kurdish families were forced to move out of their apartments due to university expansion, Nancy bought 5 duplexes to house them. Today, some of the children of those original tenants live in these homes with their own families. Over the years, Nancy has helped refugees complete immigration and job applications and helped in preparing income tax returns and other forms. To this day, she will take her computer and printer to homes to help with important and often confusing applications. The time Nancy has spent helping families and individuals has changed her perspective, and her own life has been impacted in countless ways. After Nancy co-sponsored Vietnamese women for legal citizenship, that woman changed her own name to Nancy. Another young woman remembers a trip to Opryland with Nancy and Nancy's daughter as the best day of her life. She has stretched herself beyond anything she thought herself capable of, and as a result, she says she's been rewarded many times over. For her selfless dedication to helping others, we are honored to present Nancy Loudenslayer Castle with Audubon's Community Service Award. Please welcome Nancy.
I'm honored and humbled to receive this award, and I cherish the friends from Otterbein with whom I still keep in touch, and I have fond memories of my French and Spanish professors. But my basketball coach, Judy Jensen, gave me a special memory. In those days, guards and forwards played half court with 2 full court rovers. I was a guard in zone defense when we held Ohio State scoreless for the first quarter. Our coach said that was the best defense she had ever seen. My faith has largely motivated my service to others. I came to Otterbein believing I was a Christian and trying to live like Jesus. I didn't quite know, excuse me, I skipped one. However, 3 things happened that made me wonder if I really was a Christian and caused me to search for the answer. Firstly, during my sorority initiation, we pledges were sitting blindfolded in a room, and one by one were asked, "What is the most important decision you ever made?" Many said it was deciding to accept Jesus as Lord and Savior. I didn't quite know what that meant, so I began to wonder about it. Secondly, while discussing life after death with another student, I realized I wasn't sure I believed in eternal life. My father, to whom I was very close, died during my senior year, and for the first time, I really cared about life after death because I wanted to see him again. Thirdly, during my last year, a roommate suggested I speak with her father after she saw me be abrupt with my mother. He asked me a spiritual question like, "Do you believe the Bible is the Word of God?" Whatever the question was, I said I wasn't sure. Then he said he couldn't help me. I was left wondering what I was missing. The summer after graduation, I went to a Christian camp where I found the answers I needed and dedicated my life to Jesus. And after that, it wasn't hard to share God's love for us by serving others in any way I could. Thank you.
Oh, hold on, Nancy. Nancy. Your word. You're fine. great picture. No, you're fine. Thank you very much. Our next award recipient will be introduced by Katherine Johnson Treadway, an alumna from the class of 2009. During her years at Audubon, Katherine traveled abroad as part of the, I might butcher this word, the Maastricht exchange. She was a student athlete on the women's golf team, and she served as a student board of trustees member. Katherine is currently working as a corporate attorney and leads regulatory affairs at One Energy. Katherine, would you please come forward?
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here to announce the first Mentor Impact Award to my Otterbein mentor, Dr. Alan Prindle. It's an honor to present this award to someone who has done so much for me, both during college and after. I know I'm not alone in this. Many students and alumni could stand in this spot and offer the same sentiments. That's what makes Dr. Prindle such an incredible teacher, mentor, and person. Dr. Alan Prindle has dedicated his 30-year teaching career to helping students navigate the intricacies of college both in and out of the classroom. After graduation, he held several positions in public agencies and private companies. But in 1987, he found the perfect career when he came to Otterbein. The first in his family to attend college, Alan empathizes with incoming students and enjoys connecting with them, and he makes a point of maintaining contact with them after they've graduated. He often recommends students for internships with alumni who continue to reach out to him with these opportunities. For the past several years, he has assembled a panel of alumni to speak to his students about their successes and their mistakes in their career and while at Otterbein. He believes that these discussions help his students envision their own career paths. In his classes, Alan encourages his students to consider current issues, including the environment, something he's passionate about. In fact, he was integral in creating an environmental studies minor, and he teaches an environmental economics class. Having grown up on a farm, he has long been concerned with environmental issues and sustainability. Through his course, he hopes to start conversations with and among students. Half of those students in the class are economics majors. The other half are environmental studies students. He emphasizes that to be successful in protecting the environment, both groups need to talk to each other and understand what the other is saying. As a student, Alan had the opportunity to study in Japan. That life-changing experience compelled him to develop an exchange program between Otterbein and Maastricht University in the Netherlands in 2001. Since then, he has mentored more than 40 students who have gone through the program, and most have said it is the most important time in their college career. They must learn the signals and messages that are unique to that country, and their semester abroad empowers them. In his 30 years at Otterbein, Alan has gone above and beyond his position to advise, mentor, and guide students on their path to a rewarding career. He believes it is his responsibility to open a door of opportunity. Not everyone will walk through that door, he says, but some will. And when they do, I will be able to help them find the right door, whether it's an internship, a first job, or graduate school. We are proud and privileged to honor Dr. Alan Prindle as the first recipient of the Otterbein Mentor Impact Award.
thank you for this award. One of the things that Katie did not say is that she was one of those students who did a semester abroad in Maastricht, and it's been wonderful to see her growth and her involvement and her leadership at Otterbein University and sort of throughout the community as well. Today is Earth Day.
It is.
Yeah. So I think for what we're doing here, Earth Day is about future generations, about the young people, about the students at Otterbein, and a place to celebrate that. And today is that day to celebrate those students and their future on this earth, and so on. So this Mentor Impact Award is really an honor. Wow. It was about 2003 or 4 that I was invited to be a speaker at the baccalaureate program on this stage. This is the program before the commencement. And I remember what I said to the graduating seniors on that day. It was about mentoring. What I remember of that presentation was essentially find the mentor that you have had and thank and recognize that person for the role that he or she has played for you. And after graduation in your career, find a mentor, somebody that will help you and guide you and be a leader for you and provide that role that you need at that point early in your career. And third, become a mentor in your life, in your career, in your family, in your community, and so on. And I remember that what I did that day was meaningful to me, and this is really a wonderful day to recognize or remember that message. I'm not going to ask if somebody was here and remembers that. I think I was the one who remembers that. So this is a special award. In the audience today are a number of students who participated in this exchange program with Maastricht University, and I'm so proud of what they're doing. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Opus 1 for an a cappella version of On Top of the World, as arranged by Seth Hazen from the class of 2019, majoring in music and business. Opus 1 is directed by Dr. Gail Walker. Ladies and gentlemen, Opus 1.
If you love somebody, better tell them all that you
All right, thank you, Opus One. Thank you, Dr. Walker. Great job, guys. Great job. All right, so now let's move on from actually singing praises to singing the praises of some of our alumni. At this time, it is my pleasure to announce the recipients of the Pacesetter Award. The Pacesetter Award was established in 2015 to honor a mid-career Otterbein graduate who has had significant impact on his or her profession and who has contributed to the common good of his or her community. This alumna or alumnus is recognized as a person who sets the pace for future generations of leaders and learners. For as long as he can remember, Rob Gagnon, class of 1987, has loved fashion. Even as a kid, Rob chose his sister's and mom's outfits. In fact, they wouldn't walk out the door sometimes without his approval. Since graduating from Otterbein, he's been putting that early experience to good use. Outfitting women and men around the world, Rob started out as a home economics major with an emphasis on fashion. His advisor and mentor, Gene Spiro, however, recommended the addition of a business major to add balance to the career that he was starting. Following her advice, he graduated with business and home economics majors, along with 4 other minors, and he began his career as an assistant manager at the Limited Brands Express store here in Columbus. In just his first year, Rob's store was one of the most successful in the country. A few years later, he moved to New York City to work at Victoria's Secret's catalog. Since then, he's held a number of leadership positions in the merchandising area of L Brands, and most recently, The Gap. Focusing on merchandising through catalogs in stores and online, Rob enjoys the creativity he can bring to the job, and he loves helping people feel confident by wearing something that they feel good in. He credits his success from what he learned from both Mrs. Spiro and Dean Van Sant here at Otterbein. To be fair, honest, empathetic, and compassionate. These qualities have earned him the trust and respect of the Gap's presidents, who 2 years ago created the position of Vice President of Merchandising specifically for Rob. That compassion and empathy is evident in the projects he has taken on as well. He is proudest of a 2010 video he initiated and helped launch for Gap as part of the national campaign, It Gets Better, aimed at supporting LGBT teens. The video features Gap employees, all of whom volunteered their time to make the video in just 2 weeks. When a tsunami hit Japan later that year, Rob developed and oversaw the creation and sale of limited designed Gap t-shirts, with all of the profits donated to the relief fund. For his efforts, he was nominated for a Fisher Award. Named for the Gap's founders, the prestigious Fisher Award recognizes employees who embody the company's values, including integrity and community. For everything he has accomplished in his career and outside of it, and for serving as a leader, learner, and educator, we are proud to present Rob Gagnon with Otterbein's Pacesetter Award. Rob, come on up.
Hi, everybody. None of that was true. None of that. First thing I'd like to do is I'd like my whole group to stand up for a second. Stand up, stand up, stand up. I just want to say that I could never be me without all of you. You all are the leaves on my family tree, and I love you all dearly. Now you can sit down. Okay. When I started thinking about Otterbein and thinking about what I wanted to say here, there was one thread that kept going through all of my memories, and it was about the relationships that were formed here at Otterbein. I love Otterbein. I had a blast here, absolute blast. I have no bad memories. So those relationships, the first one I'd like to talk about, and actually the most important, is my twin brother, Rick, who's out there somewhere. When we grew up, small town, we were kind of forced to be together, and we really weren't that great of friends. And from the day that Rick moved into Davis, I think Davis is that way, and I moved into Ingle, our freshman year, we found out that since we weren't forced to be together, we actually liked to be together. And we became friends and best friends here at Otterbein, and we remain that way today. And you gave me the best honor of my life, the best honor. You named your son after me, which is amazing. And I'm proud to say that my nephew, who's sitting right there, will be a senior here at Otterbein in 2 weeks, if you pass your finals, right? So I had a little bit to do with where he went, just a little bit. Next group of people I'd like to talk about are my friends, my dear, dear friends. Dawn and Vicky, Sue and Kathy, and Jesse. You guys are my rock. I love you guys. We've had so much fun here at Otterbein. Probably most of the stories are not appropriate for this session, but maybe when we get next door, we can talk about those. But I love you guys. You guys mean the world to me. Next set of relationships is with my fraternity. Now, when I got here at Otterbein as a freshman, King's fraternity was not on campus. It had been kicked off for bad behavior. They'd lost their charter. It's a true story, true story. And Mike Maxwell, who's sitting out there, myself, Craig Barnum, who I think is here somewhere, and a few others, we all got together. We petitioned Otterbein to give us the charter back. They did, surprisingly. And I'm so proud to say that 30 years, more than 30 years now, King's fraternity, Lambda Gamma Epsilon, is still going strong here and contributing to Greek life here at Otterbein. So proud of that. And then lastly, I have been blessed with 2 academic advisors in my lifetime, 2 great ones. One, when I was in high school, Jan Stoneburner, who's here today. I love you, Jan. And Jean Spiro, who is sitting in the back with her daughter, Maggie. I'm going to get emotional. Jean, you taught me so much. You taught me that the inside of a garment should look as good as the outside of a garment. Now, you think that may sound silly, but in a day where everything is mass-produced, quality means so much. And Jean, I use that every day. You also taught me, actually you didn't teach me, you told me, that when I was a freshman, that if I rearranged my class schedule and took a few more classes, that I could graduate from Otterbein in 4 years with 2 degrees and 4 minors. And I did it, and it's all because of you. So it changed my life, Jean. It changed my life. You mean the world to me. And so 30 years ago, I was a senior here at Otterbein, a graduating senior, 30 years ago. And I was asked to speak at baccalaureate services, which are part of graduation. And I was sitting right over there where the piano is, and I was terrified, absolutely terrified, to give my speech. So I want to apologize to everyone else who spoke that day because I didn't hear a word they said, because I was sitting there with my head down, studying my speech, getting all crazy about it. And I literally, swear to God, I literally almost walked off the stage because I was so nervous. And for some reason, I looked up, and I saw out in the audience that group that just stood up a few minutes ago. And after 30 years, we are still all friends and obviously family. And I think that's such an important quality here at Otterbein. Of course, the academics were great. It's obviously why we're here, but also the relationships. And the relationships that have lasted 30 years are all forged and birthed here at Otterbein. And I think that's a huge, huge credit to Otterbein. I loved it here, and I'm just forever grateful and honored for this award. Thank you so much.
Rob, I want to thank you and Mike and all the other refounding fathers there, because 3 years later, then I joined King's fraternity as well. So it's good to put a face with all the names I had to memorize there when I was rushing. And I see some King's t-shirts out here, and I thought, oh, isn't that nice? They came to see me, but I think I know who they came to see now. All right, let's see. Let's talk about our next Pace Setter Award. For Tammy Roberts Myers, every day brings new challenges and new opportunities in her role as Vice President of Communications for L Brands, the parent company of Victoria's Secret, Pink, Bath and Body Works, La Senza, and Henry Bendel. For the most part, her job is dedicated to crisis and reputation management for all 5 brands on a daily basis. If a customer trips in a store in Hong Kong, Tammy's going to hear about it. If a customer support center receives a call that's out of the norm, she's going to be alerted. As co-leader of the global crisis team, she'll partner and collaborate with the right people, the company's attorneys, social media teams, and communications teams, to look at the issue from all angles. And finally, she makes every decision with the best interest of associates, customers, and investors in mind. Tammy credits Otterbein with much of the leadership and communication skills she has acquired. Coming from a small town in Ohio, she was the first in her family to attend college, and the idea of finding the right school was daunting. After her first visit to Otterbein, however, both Professors Ludlam and Professor Buckles kept in touch with her, answering any questions and addressing any concerns that she had. That personal touch, we know about that here at Otterbein. That's what drew her to the school, where her entire world opened up, and she learned how to question and to think for herself. A public relations and speech major, Tammy served as president of the Public Relations Student Society of America for 3 years, honing her leadership skills and helping to grow that organization. While her career is time-consuming, Tammy has long been committed to volunteering in the community. She shared her expertise with the Red Cross and COSI as they are embarking on a significant partnership with the American Museum of Natural History, and she's currently chairing the board of the Columbus Ronald McDonald House, which is the largest house in the world, where she's helping to plan the next stage of that growth. She's also taken on the role of chair for ROCKS, or Ruling Our Experiences, a program that helps girls live healthy, independent, and violence-free lives. She's been invested in the organization's mission since 2010, helping to make it into a nonprofit in 2011 and seeing its presence grow into 7 states. For setting the pace through her commitment to her work as well as to her community, we present the Otterbein Pace Setter Award to Tammy Roberts Myers.
I am incredibly grateful to Otterbein University, not only for this award, but also for the lifelong learning and spirit of curiosity that it implanted in me. A special thanks to Becky Smith and Susan Merriman, who rallied some of my friends to nominate me for this award. And I have to tell you that news of this award to me was as surprising as being accepted to Otterbein was. Because I have to tell you, I almost didn't come to Otterbein, almost didn't go to college. Because when I was in high school, only 2 people thought I could make it here. My parents. This is really not how I practiced it, sorry. Yeah. I'll get it back, I promise. Anyway, educators at my high school, they were so busy telling me all the reasons that I couldn't do it here, that instead of encouraging me, even though I was second in my class. So it was the spring of my senior year in high school, and I started getting these phone calls from professors at Otterbein. And they would ask me about my goals and tell me how that really worked into what they were doing at Otterbein. And they invited me to enroll. Well, I gotta tell you, that was a big damn deal to the farm girl from London, Ohio, because I was thinking I was gonna be a cashier at the grocery store instead of pursuing a secondary degree. So John Ludlam and John Buckles, who were communications professors, they reached out, they believed in me, and they invited me to join them. something really kind of simple, right? And I know that that admissions office had them calling lots of potential students. Now, I was so naive at the time that I was convinced they were only calling me. So when I think back to the things in my life that I have tried to do that are new and things that I've been able to thrive at doing, it's often because really someone has reached out, they've believed in me, and they've invited me to join them. My friends and family, each of you have done that for me. And oftentimes without ever knowing it, and I owe you so much. Thank you. I wish in my allotted 2 minutes that I could share with everyone the inspiration that I've gained from each of you, but I couldn't do any of you justice in 2 minutes. So instead, I'm going to be like Dr. Prindle and invite all of you to a challenge. I challenge each of us here today to reach out to someone, to show them that you believe in them, and invite them to join you. Think about the difference that all of us can make, particularly in the lives of young people. Otterbein University, thank you for this honor. Thank you for helping me build a solid foundation. And thank you for making professors reach out to potential students, even the farm girls. Otterbein, I proudly stand with you. Thank you.
Come on over here. Come get your award. Please get over here. That's all right. I want to get that way you can get your picture. I thought I was going to have to chase you down there for a minute. You know how many rows you were going to get away from me. All right. You know, you get back on campus, and it's it's a special place for all of us, and we all have these memories, and brings back a lot of memories, a lot of emotions. So it's good to be back. And as we talk about pace setters, it's my pleasure to also introduce a leader who understands what it means to set a record-breaking pace. Michael McGreevy is the Vice President for Institutional Advancement. And as you hopefully know, Otterbein's Where We Stand comprehensive campaign is setting the pace with the most funds ever raised for this university. And guess what? Their work is not done yet. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome me in joining Michael McGreevy to the stage.
Thank you, Phil. Welcome back. I have the honor of leading the team in institutional advancement of both staff and volunteers, and what a team it is. And of course, our STAND campaign, which you just heard about. Days like this remind me of how much it means here at Otterbein and how much Otterbein matters in the world. As we learn from every word and every experience of the contributions that our awardees share today, contributions to their professions, contributions to their communities, and of course, the student experiences and performances that we've enjoyed and will enjoy today. That Otterbein standout quality is certainly evident. It's a combination of commitment, conviction, talent, and the desire to do what is good and what is right that connects all of you, no matter what year you graduated or what academic course of study you chose. As alumni, donors, and friends, you offer an important glimpse into what Otterbein stands for. I want you to know how very much we appreciate all that you do. And alumni, thank you, especially alumni, for standing with your alma mater to help fortify this institution for the future. Which is why it gives me great pleasure to be able to thank members of our giving societies that are with us today. Joanne Van Sant, better known as Dean Van, served Otterbein for over 50 years. Through her leadership and mentorship, she had positive impact on students, alumni, faculty, staff, and community leaders. In honor of Dean Van, several years ago, Otterbein established the Joanne Van Sant Leadership Giving Society, recognizing leadership giving to Otterbein on an annual basis of $1,000 or above. Would those members of the Joanne Van Sant Leadership Giving Society, or the JVS Society, present today please stand and be recognized? Thank you so very much for leading the way. Otterbein's 1847 Society recognizes those alumni, parents, and friends of Otterbein who have documented their commitment by naming the university as a beneficiary in their estate plans. Anyone who has included Otterbein and provided documentation is eligible for membership. Gifts such as these represent a planned and purposeful choice that will benefit this exceptional institution and our educational experience that we are known for and respected for, and we provided since our founding in 1847. Would members of the 1847 Society that are with us today, again, please stand and be recognized. Thank you, and to all 1847 and JVS Society members, we are so grateful and appreciative for your support. Your gifts not only reflect your values, but they further ensure Otterbein's excellence and opportunity for future generations. Thank you for being so generous with your support. Because you stand with Otterbein, Otterbein will continue to stand strong for generations to come. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce cast members from the production A Grand Night for Singing, who will perform When You're Driving Through the Moonlight, A Lovely Night, and I'm in Love with a Wonderful Guy. Darius Reedus, Trey Plunecki, and Abigail Isom will be accompanied by the production's musical director, Dr. Dennis Davenport, featuring the choreography of Stella Hyatt Kane and under the direction of David Helmsley Caldwell. I invite you to sit back and enjoy some nostalgic and beautiful selections from Rodgers and Hammerstein's Soundbook. As a critic from the Columbus Dispatch described this production, just let the music and its romantic work sweeping you into a world where enchantment is just a song or two away.
When you're driving through the moonlight on the highway, when you're driving through the moonlight to the dance, you are breathless with the wild anticipation of adventure and excitement and romance. Then at last you see the towers of the palace silhouetted on the sky above the park, and below them is a row of lighted windows like a lovely diamond necklace in the dark. I suppose that when you come into the ballroom and the room itself is floating in the air, if you're suddenly confronted by His Highness, you are frozen like a statue on the stair. You're afraid he'll hear the way your heart is beating, and you know you mustn't make the first advance. You are seriously thinking of retreating. Then you seem to hear him asking you to dance.
May I have the pleasure?
He is tall and straight as a lance, and his hair is dark and wavy. His eyes can melt you with a glance. He can turn a girl to gravy.
A lovely night, a lovely night, a finer night you know you'll never see.
You meet your prince, a charming prince, as charming as a prince will ever be. The stars in a hazy heaven tremble above you while he is whispering.
expect every one of my crowd to make fun of my proud protestations of faith and romance. And they'll say I'm naive as a babe to believe any fable I hear from a person in pants. Fearlessly, I'll face them and argue their doubts away. Loudly, I'll sing about flowers and spring. Flatly, I'll stand on my little flat feet and say, love is a grand and beautiful thing. I'm not ashamed to reveal the world-famous feeling I feel. I'm as corny as Kansas in August. I'm as normal as blueberry pie. No more a smart little girl with no heart. I have found me a wonderful guy. I am in a conventional dither with a conventional star in my eye. And you will note there's a lump in my throat when I speak of that wonderful guy. I'm as trite and as gay as a daisy in May, a cliche coming true. I'm bromidic and bright as the moon-happy night, pouring light on the dew. I'm as corny as Kansas in August, high as the flag on the 4th of July. If you'll excuse an expression I use, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with a wonderful guy.
Thank you to Daria, Trey, and Abigail for that beautiful performance. Would you join me in giving them another round of applause, please? And now, it is my honor to introduce the Special Achievement Award recipient. This award recognizes excellence and high professional career contributions which have significantly enhanced the profession at the local or regional level and or the organization to which the recipient is employed. Dr. Nita Seibel leads the Pediatric Solid Tumor Therapeutics Program at the National Cancer Institute in Washington, D.C. This role, which she assumed in 2008, has given her the tremendous opportunity to advance childhood cancer research by educating Congress on the issue and working with its members to set funding for such research. Dr. Seibel followed a strong family tradition when she chose Otterbein. She was the 9th in her family to call herself a cardinal. A biology major, she was encouraged by chemistry professor Robert Place to go on to medical school. Instead, she chose to become a medical technician. Her perspective quickly changed, however, after a year of working with interns and residents, and she enrolled in the Ohio State University College of Medicine. After a 3-year fellowship in pediatric hematology-oncology at the National Cancer Institute, Dr. Seibel became a full-time practicing physician at the Children's National Medical Center and a professor at George Washington University in Washington, D.C. For nearly 20 years, she treated young patients who had been diagnosed with cancer or blood disorders. Today, she continues to see patients once a week. While it is extremely difficult to tell parents that their child has cancer, Dr. Seibel sees it as her responsibility to help both the patient and the family to walk them through the process and to treat not just the cancer, but the emotional aspects of the illness. And although having children of her own makes it much harder to keep her distance, she has found that parenthood has made her a better doctor because she can easily identify with the parents. When she does lose a patient, she relies on her strong faith in God to cope and to reassure parents that they've done everything possible for their child. Fortunately, she's seen survival rates for childhood cancers increase during her career. She has watched many of her patients grow up, graduate from college, marry, and even have children of their own. Thanks to Dr. Seibel's work at the Cancer Institute and as a physician, more children will have the care and treatment to survive cancer in the future. We are pleased to present Dr. Nita Seibel with Otterbein University's Special Achievement Award.
Gee, it's such a thrill to be here, and I'm so touched and humbled by the recipients today who are getting awards, as well as previous recipients, and even to be considered within the same group. I just want to recognize a few people from my family who are here, and that's particularly my brother Larry and his wife Debbie, who both graduated from Otterbein, their daughter Megan, who graduated from Otterbein, and her two children, and Rachel from New York City, who didn't graduate from Otterbein, but another school in Ohio. And then my cousin Connie Woods, who graduated from Otterbein, who drove up from Dayton. My husband Jim is here for the first time, and I'm excited to show him Otterbein, the campus of Otterbein. And I wish our two children could be here, but one is working in New York City and the other is studying for finals at Furman University. I wish my parents could see this because I know how much they sacrificed for us to come to Otterbein. And I'm forever grateful to my maternal grandparents who instilled in us the importance of a college education. I just want to describe a bit more of the details of how much Otterbein impacted my life. God has always led my path, and he continues to do so, but this was particularly evident at Otterbein. But when I was a sophomore and I was taking a chemistry course, I made an appointment to go in to talk to Dr. Place because I had some questions about the class. And I remember going in, and he was asking me about my goals and what I wanted to do, and I mentioned I was going to be a medical technologist because they had this program with Mima Valley Hospital in Dayton, Ohio, and he sort of looked at me thoughtfully and said, well, have you ever thought about being a doctor? My sister-in-law is a pediatrician. Well, I was taken aback, to say the least, because I wasn't that smart, and you know, women, really, not many women went in, became physicians, particularly in the early 1970s. So I just smiled and thanked him, but I sort of filed it away. And then a couple months later, at home with my parents, I shared with them what Dr. Place had said, and they were a bit surprised because no one in our family had been a doctor, and let alone a woman. And you know, they just didn't know what to think about that. So I graduated from Otterbein. I became a medical technologist and worked at Mima Valley Hospital. But what I saw when I was working as a medical technologist, I'd see the interns and residents come into the lab and make rounds with the attending physician or be in the intensive care unit or the emergency room. And I realized I could do that. There was no reason why I couldn't do that. So after careful consideration and prayer, I took physics, I took the MCATs, applied to medical school, and ended up going to Ohio State. And my whole goal for going to Ohio State was to be a pathologist. But when I was my last year of medical school, one of my mentors said, you know, Nita, you're not going to be very happy doing that because you'll miss the patient interaction. And she was right. And so then it came down to a matter of, do I want to treat adults with cancer or children? And I really felt that God had led me to treat children and to help their families on this journey. So I've been blessed with many wonderful professors here at Otterbein. Dr. Hirschler, who was my advisor and was so kind and generous with his time, and his wife, they'd always invite us over every year for a picnic. Dr. Finney, who was so enthusiastic, particularly on Friday afternoon when we were out sounding the pond. Dr. Willis in her morphogenesis class. Dr. Olgel was so helpful, as well as Dr. Jenkins, who I pestered with so many questions during organic chemistry. But I want to tell you also about Dr. Tegenkamp, who I took several courses with. One was called Microtechnique, which was sort of an independent study course. And I remember at the beginning of the semester, I ran in and he showed me the lab. I was the only one taking it. And he showed me this huge bell jar that he had made into sort of a vacuum desiccator for tissue. And he warned me to be very careful with it because it was heavy and not to break it. Well, of course, a couple weeks later, I was moving the bell jar to put some tissue under it, and it cracked. And so trembling, I went in to see him and explained what had happened. And he was so calm and so understanding to me that I never forgot that. So, Dr. Place, thank you for challenging me to exceed my expectations and broadening them. And Dr. Tegenkamp, I thank you for when you could have broken my spirit, instead you encouraged me. These are the essence of the professors or faculty at Otterbein. And I pray that the current students will continue to bear the fruits of their understanding, as well as the future ones. Thank you again.
At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce a person who will forever be a part of my Otterbein story. 9 years ago, as a student trustee, I was entrusted with a job of enormous consequence. I was asked to help select the 20th president of my university. I will always be proud to know that my work meant President Kathy Crendel would protect and advance my alma mater. She has been a true advocate for Otterbein and has touched many of us with her dedication to the community, to the school, and to living a life of service. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Otterbein President Kathy Crendel to the stage.
Katie, you almost got me crying, but not quite, so I'm not going to go there. So, good afternoon, and thank you. Thank you, Katie, for the special introduction and for actually helping me land here as a cardinal. So, to our honorees and their families, I extend a warm welcome and warm congratulations as well. And to our wonderful performers today, I offer my appreciation for sharing your talent with us today. If we could give another round of applause to the students. As president, I can tell you that Otterbein is distinguished by the character and integrity of its people. To the honorees, I offer our thanks for the ways you are advancing a greater good through meaningful contributions in your professions and in your communities. You give us many reasons to be proud, so again, I say thank you and congratulations to each of you. At this time, it is my pleasure to share news about the Mary B. Thomas Commitment to Otterbein Award. Before we announce the 2017 recipients, I ask you to turn your attention to the screen for a brief introduction of this special award.
The Mary B. Thomas Award is the highest honor Otterbein bestows upon its community. Those who are chosen to receive this prestigious award have elevated Otterbein with their transformational leadership and commitment. Crafted by Otterbein faculty member and artist Don Austin, the award was designed to reflect the spirit of the leaders who receive it. The award is hand-carved from maple, cherry, and black walnut trees from Ohio. The wing radiates from a strong base that is encircled by an O. Also at the base, an Amelia Earhart quote that reads, "You haven't seen a tree until you've seen its shadow from the sky." The wing represents the lift of their generosity. The base offers a solid foundation, much like the loyal support of these leaders. The quote is symbolic of a new perspective and the vision of what could be as only these leaders could predict. Each award, like its recipient, is distinctly one of a kind. Its quality is reflected in the grain, and when well cared for, its ability to endure. Thanks to the service, contribution, and care of the Mary B. Thomas Award winners, Otterbein University's excellence will endure for generations to come.
As you just heard, this is the highest honor that Otterbein awards. The Mary B. Thomas Commitment to Otterbein Award is given to leaders whose efforts on behalf of this institution led to truly transformational and enduring change. It is the kind of transformational change that makes our students stand out for being thoughtful, knowledgeable, and certainly better prepared to engage in the world. It is the kind of impact that we are recognizing in our honorees today. Before I announce this year's Mary B. Thomas Award winners, I'd like to remind you of the past recipients. This esteemed group includes the Frank and Vida Clements Foundation, Ernest and Neva Fritchie, Edwin and Mary Lou Rausch, Vernon Pack, John and Susie King, and William and Helen LeMay. These loyal friends have made incredible commitments to Otterbein in their giving, their service, and the opportunities their support make possible. Otterbein will be standing strong for generations to come because of their philanthropic leadership and their strategic vision. That is why I'm pleased to announce Thomas and Jean Bromley as the 2017 Mary B. Thomas Commitment to Otterbein Award honorees. Though the Bromleys are unable to join us today, I want you to know that as Otterbein alumni, as leaders, and as lifelong friends, they embody the true spirit of this award. As legacy families, Tom and Jean's connection to and affection for Otterbein began with their families. Dr. Robert B. and Marianne Grow Bromley, Tom's parents, were members of the class of 1929, and Mary Whitford Hostetler, Jean's mother, was a member of the class of 1927. Tom and Jean's mothers were, in fact, roommates during their freshman year at Otterbein. It was an arranged marriage. Tom Bromley graduated from Otterbein in 1951 with a Bachelor in Science degree in Physics and Mathematics. While a student, he was involved with the university's radio station, WOBC, and was the chief announcer of its inaugural program on March 5, 1948. He was a member of the Pi Kappa Phi fraternity, and it was at Otterbein that he met and courted his wife, Jean Hostetler Bromley, class of '54. The couple has 2 daughters. Tom went on to earn a Master of Science degree in Industrial Administration from Carnegie Mellon in 1953, and he proudly served his country as an officer in the United States Navy from 1953 to 1956. After completing his service, Tom began a long and distinguished career in business, manufacturing, and publishing. He was chairman of Allegheny Bradford Corporation, a company founded by his father in 1962, which grew to include 4 operating divisions that today make stainless steel hygienic products for the pharmaceutical, biotechnical, cosmetic, food, beverage, dairy, and electronics processing industries. Tom Bromley is the past director of Integra Bank, which later became National City Bank. In addition, he owned newspaper publishing interests in Pennsylvania and Illinois, and radio broadcasting interests in Pennsylvania and New York. Tom proudly joined the Board of Trustees here at Otterbein in 1975 and went on to serve for 31 years. Put that in context, Mark. Including leading the board as its chair from 1996 to 2006. Otterbein honored Tom with an honorary Doctorate of Science in Business Administration in 1988 and a Distinguished Alumnus Award in 2002. He was named Trustee Emeritus in 2006. Tom's leadership as board chair during Otterbein's sesquicentennial campaign was instrumental in bringing what had been the university's most ambitious campaign to its successful close. It was, in fact, a challenge issued by Chair Tom Bromley that helped propel the campaign to its successful conclusion. Known as the Chairman's Challenge, a $500,000 gift for the tower's renovation given by Tom and Jean Bromley, along with $500,000 gifts given by 2 other former board chairs, William LeMay and Edwin Rausch, helped to inspire others to support this critical project. We are indebted to Tom and Jean for their commitment to protect one of Otterbein's most historic and iconic landmarks. In addition to Otterbein, Tom and Jean have been leaders in their hometown of Bradford, Pennsylvania. They have been true champions for healthcare and especially higher education. Their foundation, the Pembroke Foundation, originally founded by Jean's parents, has been a vehicle for change and impact in higher education. As true partners following their years of active service to Otterbein, the Bromleys have continued to support the university through their advocacy and their gifts. With more than 48 years of commitment to Otterbein, the Bromleys' philanthropic leadership totals more than $1.3 million. Later this summer, our board chair, Mark Thresher, and his wife, Deb Scott Thresher, will travel to Bradford to present the Bromleys with their award. It sits before you here, as you saw in the video. Mark will accept the award today on behalf of the Bromleys. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in honoring Tom and Jean Bromley as the 2017 recipients of the Mary B. Thomas Commitment to Otterbein Award honorees. Mark, will you please come forward and join me?
So as Kathy said, Tom, well, first of all, Tom was the chairman of the board when I first joined the board. He was a pretty tough chairman, right? You knew, but not in those days. A great businessman. My wife is from Bradford, Pennsylvania. What I didn't realize at the time was Mrs. Bromley was her Girl Scout leader way back when. So we've had a long connection with them. And as you heard, I'm not going to repeat everything that President Crendell said. He's been a great supporter, he and his family, of Otterbein for a long time, the Bradford area, a number of other things with that. And we've tried to stay in contact. I know that my wife gets back, I think their daughter was either with her or around the same graduating class, right, in high school. So they've stayed in contact over the years. And we will be very pleased to take this award back to him this summer, he and his wife, and celebrate with him. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. And now we move from recognizing leaders who have made a lasting impact for Otterbein to one who is making a transformational impact within his own profession. The Distinguished Alumnus Award represents the highest honor presented by the Otterbein alumni community. It is given to an alumnus or alumna whose contributions, commitment, and caring regard are seen as personifying Otterbein's mission. During his 35-year career in real estate studies, Jim Schilling has seen affordable housing options in urban areas dwindle as more and more millennials move into cities and as more gentrification takes place. In that time, he has been working towards solutions to this problem across the country and indeed around the entire world. In 2006, he moved to Chicago to become the Michael J. Horn Chair in Real Estate Studies and the Academic Project Director at the Institute for Housing Studies, both at DePaul University. Jim has found that the urban setting of Chicago, where real estate companies are on the leading edge of the industry, has been highly beneficial to his work. Prior to the move, he served as the James A. Graskamp Professor of Real Estate and Urban Land Economics at the University of Wisconsin for 16 years. After graduating from Otterbein with dual degrees in economics and mathematics, he went on to receive both his master's and doctoral degrees in economics from Purdue University. Reflecting on the encouragement and support he received from his Otterbein professors, Jim says that his time at Otterbein was life-changing and continues to impact him today. Particularly influential in his life was Dr. Koo, an economics professor. Today, Jim and his students are partnering with the surrounding county to study and find solutions for the affordable housing issues in Chicago and other areas. They're collecting data and tracking stock for affordable housing while providing the county with projections for 5 to 10 years down the road. After teaching all of these years, he still finds that young people truly want to make a difference in the world. He encourages his students to look for opportunities both domestically and internationally where they can help solve problems and solve issues and meet immense social goals. Over the years, he has examined and written numerous articles and papers on a variety of real estate topics. In fact, he was one of the first to voice concerns about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac in the 1980s. Most recently, Jim has delved into housing and economic problems facing developing countries. Just this past summer, he traveled to India, where he met with members of Parliament, the Minister for Rural Development, and the Secretary of the Department of Land Resources to discuss issues like attracting private equity real estate capital and improving the country's real estate practices. Jim, for your contributions to the study of real estate through lifelong learning, for your wisdom and passion that distinguishes your research, for your commitment to improving real estate markets around the globe, Otterbein University is proud to confer the Distinguished Alumnus Award to Dr. James D. Schilling, class of 1977, with sincere appreciation and gratitude for all that you have done to educate and advance a greater good. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in congratulating Jim Schilling, Otterbein's 2017 Distinguished Alumnus. Jim?
President Crendell, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty emeritus, fellow alumni, ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by expressing my thanks to the Awards Committee for granting me this year's Distinguished Alumni Award. I am very honored to be the recipient of this award. I'd also like to thank the kids today for the program. It was just outstanding. The Opus One, just fantastic. So let me thank them as well. In accepting this award, it's important to me personally, the recognition that is, it's important to me and personally that the award is given to somebody in academia. And to those of us in academia, this is significant. When I studied here in the mid-1970s, I had no idea about what an academician did. I had no idea what it meant. Incredibly, I had no idea how satisfying a career in academia would be over these many, many years. And as we've heard from all the other awardees today, all of us, I include all of us in the room, fortunately we all had wonderful role models here at Otterbein, people that we could emulate, people that guided us in making decisions about our careers. And it's so worthwhile to note that tradition continues even today. So early on in my career, I learned that learning is something that doesn't happen by chance. You can't attain it by chance. It's something that you must be sought after. And today we know that learning and education is important, and let me give you 4 reasons why learning and education is extremely important. First off, we know that education is something that increases the productivity of other factors in the economy. That's taken for granted. Second, we know that education is something that acts like a spillover. And that acts as an externality that allows outputs to grow even faster than the measured inputs. Thirdly, education is something that explains why there's an increasing share of the world's population living in cities today. And it explains why similar activities tend to all concentrate in the same location. And it helps to explain some of the things that is happening here in Columbus in terms of how similar kinds of corporations have decided to make Columbus their home. Fourthly, education is something that helps us understand how undeveloped nations can be set on a different economic path. And it's something that allows nations to change. And instrumental in that is how nations need to replicate the success of chartered cities, cities like Chicago, cities like Columbus, all across the world. And so when you think about how education is important, it leaves you with the following implications. If we as a society and we as a group want to improve the lot of those in Columbus If we as a society, or we as a group want to improve the lot of those in the world's most impoverished nations, like Angola, Ethiopia, Rwanda, Uganda, Haiti, all areas where GDP per capita is less than $750 per person. First and foremost, if we want to improve the lots of these individuals, first and foremost, we need to make education attainable. But education is something that's not attained and does not occur by chance. It's something that's sought after. Education is a treasure that we all carry around. Where would we have been? And you saw this theme in all of the awardees' presentations. Where would we have been today without the education we received from Otterbein, and how our lives would have been so much different without those opportunities? And so as we think about education and we think about how we attained education, we realize that it's a gift that we all receive from our parents' generation. And as we receive, so shall we give. And so if we as a generation really want to make effective changes, if we want to promote larger productions, if we want to promote greater agglomerations, if we want to promote higher wage rates, we need to step up our game. And we need to provide greater support for education in general, and Otterbein in particular. Where we stand matters, and all of our gifts matter. It's an important cause that my wife and I believe in entirely, and I just encourage all of us in this room to join and to help support and step up our game and help us support Otterbein in these endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Jim. That was inspiring. And now I invite you to sit back and enjoy the Otterbein Singers conducted by Dr. Dennis Davenport, Chair of the Music Department. They will be performing the song, Here's Where I Stand, including Kat Lee as the featured soloist. As you listen to these talented young men and women, I want to remind our honorees, as well as other Otterbein leaders and friends here today, that, as Jim said, where we stand matters, and where you stand matters. What you bring to your professions and your communities matters. It matters to those you are serving or helping, and it matters to Otterbein. Thank you for continuing to stand on the side of what is right to advance a greater good. Ladies and gentlemen, the Otterbein Singers.
Thank you.
Good catch there. All right, the Otterbein Singers, thank you very much, guys. Great work. Dr. Davenport, thank you very much as well. All right, just when we think sometimes this next generation, oh my gosh, they're going to doom us, right? These millennials, man, the talent on this stage, our school is in good hands with this next generation. Some very talented kids up there. All right, before we put an end to this celebration, I'd like to close with a little bit about where I stand. As a meteorologist, my job requires that I understand how to make accurate predictions. It means understanding how certain elements work together and the result you can expect when those things come together. There's a lot of science involved, yeah, and the kind of facts that you can count on. There's also a level of understanding how those things work together. And if I were to apply those rules, those standards, in my experience to what we've all shared here today, I would offer you the following forecast. There's a great chance that no matter the obstacles, the challenges, or momentary setbacks, and no matter the successes and the wins, the people we've honored here today will continue to do important and really good work. They'll bring brighter, calmer, and more meaningful days for those whose lives their work influences. Looking ahead, I'm also fully confident in promising mostly bright skies for the talented students that we met here today. I'm predicting they will go on to bring beauty and meaning into their art in many ways. And the forecast I'm most sure of, and as a meteorologist, you learn not to ever promise anything, but well, I'll do that today for this. I predict that Otterbein will continue to be the kind of place with the kind of mentors and educators and leaders who know how to inspire and challenge each student to find their adventures, to succeed on their paths, and believe that they can accomplish whatever they set out to do. My weather predictions may not always be right. I didn't write this script, did I? But this forecast, I know is right. I hope that you'll take a moment in the days ahead when the excitement and the pride of this moment and ask yourself what you stand for. What has Otterbein helped you to know about yourself and the world? That's the great gift of education, but it is especially the great gift of this place. So allow me to say a final thank you to our honorees and our presenters. Thank you to our donors and our society members. Thank you to our amazing performers. Thank you to President Crendel, Chairman Thresher, and all of Otterbein's trustees and leaders who remain committed to Otterbein's future. Thank you to David Hemsley Caldwell, Stella Hyatt Kane, Dr. Dennis Davenport, Dr. Gail Walker, Joyce Stonebreaker, Doc Davis, Rebecca White, Julia Ferrari, and their contributions to help celebrate this, and the 65 some odd talented staff and students who helped bring this whole thing to life today. And thanks to you all for helping support Otterbein and for coming home to share in this model community of scholars, leaders, and bright stars. And I ask all of you to stand right now and to join the Otterbein Singers as we close this program with the Otterbein Love Song. If you don't remember the words, it can be found on inside of your front cover of the program. Enjoy the rest of the day, and thank you for helping make mine so special.